Hi, welcome to my 1,000 subscriber Q&A. I'm a little over 1,000 right now. In fact, I'm well on my way to 1,500, which is kind of crazy. First of all, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I'm really proud of the weird and fun videos that I make, and to have any kind of audience is absolutely just a blessing and an honor. Thank you so much for watching, for commenting. I'm glad to see that I can help make some of you laugh, help some of you sleep, study, however you watch my videos. It's awesome. I really appreciate it. And I also want to say a big thank you to any channel that also does ASMR that shares my content. Right now, that is my biggest source of growth. I don't really have much organic growth. YouTube doesn't really help me at all. And so recently, Jelly Bean Green sharing the kind of collab I did with her on her channel helped boost me a lot. Luna Bloom watched my kind of 8D audio where I have the lights, and I'm going back and forth. And the sound is following it, and she thought that was cool, and she shared it on her channel, and I got a boost from that as well. And so anytime that happens with another ASM artist, if any of you are watching this, thank you. I really appreciate it. We can kind of treat this video almost like a ramble, because I'm all getting close to the microphones because that's kind of fun to do and play with your ears a little bit. But really, this is just going to be answering a whole bunch of questions. And I've got quite a few from Twitter, from my community post. I didn't think I put anything on Instagram. I might have, but I tried to get them all here in my notes app. And we're going to go through every single one of them, and it's going to take however long it takes. So let's just get started, okay? I've got a series of questions from Sleeping Artist ASMR, who just reached 3,000 subscribers. Congratulations, by the way. All right, if I had to listen to only one song for the next year, what would it be? Now, I'm really tempted to say Dad Vibes by Limp Bizkit because it just came out, and it's the dumbest song ever. But no, it's not Dad Vibes. I think if I had to listen to one song for a year, it would be a song called Clouds by He Is Legend. It looks like parentheses, louds. It's kind of clouds. The song is so freaking cool. I could listen to that song every day for a year, and I would be happy. Who is my dream ASMR collab partner? I think I've already collabed sort of with this person on a few different things, and that really is Jelly Bean Green. I think her and I have a very similar sense of humor, and when I first got into ASMR, her ASMR ear cleaning stuff, I could not get enough of, and I still love it so much. I love the sci-fi stuff that she does, and I've already been able to work with her a little bit. I don't think we've ever had I guess actually there's a video coming out soon where she asked me to record a part for her, and you'll see that. It's going to be awesome. She might have it up before this is even out. It's one that has to do with alien abductions, so go watch it. Very honored to do any work with her. I think she's great. Will you ever shave your beard? And if so, would you have to change your name to Beardless Audio? I don't think I'm ever going to shave it, but I mean, who knows, right? Right now, the beard is an absolutely wonderful way to hide my double chin. That's there. I just trimmed it actually today. It was pretty ridiculous. But right now it's my double chin hider, and so I really love having it. But I also just love having a beard, and my wife likes it, and I do freelance audio stuff under Bearded Audio, which is where Bearded Audio ASMR came from. And because I'm not creative, I was like, well, I already go by Bearded Audio. I guess I'll call my channel Bearded Audio ASMR. So I guess the answer to that question is no. But if I ever do change it, no, I'm just going to be a guy without a beard who goes by Bearded Audio, because I'll be bearded in spirit. ASMR Kitten asks, what inspired you to get into audio engineering? I am a musician, And I mean, that's kind of the answer. When I was 13, 14, I was playing the guitar. My brother would play the drums. I was super into like screamo and stuff. We had been in a band, or we were starting a band down in California called Frisson, and we were like this screamo band, and I'd scream and play the guitar. It was super fun. But eventually I was like, I gotta record this, obviously, because this is the greatest music anyone's ever heard. I need to capture it and put it on the internet. And that's really what kicked it off. It was me trying to figure out how to record the drums, how to record my guitar, and me screaming, and how to mix it and everything. And ultimately, when it came time for college, it was like, well, what am I going to do? And the thing I was most passionate about was music and audio. And so it kind of just led to that. I went to the Art Institute of Seattle, which I go back and forth between regretting and not regretting, because it is a ton of money and I'm going to be paying it off for a long time, getting my bachelor's in audio. But I also learned so much, and like my career got kicked off because of that. And I do live sound for a living, and I do a ton of freelance audio, and a lot of the connections I made at that school have turned into jobs or gigs and that kind of thing. So it's a give and a take. But anyways, long answer to that question, my goodness. What was the first album I remember purchasing? Also from ASMR Kitten. The first album I remember purchasing, that's a tough one, that I bought myself. It might also be, I don't think it's actually the first one, but the first one I can remember, like going and waiting at a bookstore, as a Christian Bible bookstore, down in California for an album called, He Is Legend. Again, they're one of my favorite all-time bands. An album called I Am Hollywood. And there's a big Target next door. I probably could have just gone to Target and actually even probably got it for cheaper. But I was in line at this Bible bookstore because I knew they were going to have it, because they carried all the solid state record bands, and tooth and nail bands. And also my wife, who's then was my girlfriend, her dad owned it, so also it was just like I knew the owner, and so I think maybe that was the first one that I remember like going in and buying, being like, it was probably still my mom's money or my dad's money, but that's the one I remember going and being like, this is my choice, my purchase. Let's see, Shadrach ASMR asked a couple of questions here. Do you have any ASMR role plays planned? Yes, I always do. Whether I can record them or not remains to be seen. I just did, I think a lot of the more wacky role plays I like to do in collaborations with other channels. And there's one coming out. This is Xena fanfic episode. There's another one where I am an elf doing a sound check for a band. There's a lot more of the ones that are a little more out there or weird I tend to do for other ASMR artists to put on their channel. Not that the ones that I do aren't weird, they are. But I tend to focus also still on a lot more just like trigger videos and stuff like that. So anyways, to answer that question, I always have ASMR role plays planned. And Shadrach also asked, what biblical figures do I like? If you didn't know this, I don't know why you would, but you will know now. I am a Christian, and I do love Jesus, and Shadrach knows that, so he asked me biblical figures I like. Answering Jesus is kind of cheating. So I think I'm gonna go with Peter, who was a disciple of Jesus, because I identify a lot with Peter, because he was feisty and he was kind of crazy, and he wasn't perfect. And if you want to read up on Peter and his life, I'd recommend it. He's a cool guy. World Debris ASMR asked, what is my dream guitar? Before I die, I would love to own a Starla by Paul Reed Smith. I think that's a sweet guitar. I'd love to have one. Heather Mooney asked, are you a Star Trek or a Star Wars fan? Star Wars fan. I said that weird. I tend to say things weird, and my wife makes fun of me a lot of it. Like, I'll go like, Taco Bell. Like, that's the one I do a lot because I love Taco Bell. I go there all the time. Am I a Star Trek or Star Wars fan? Definitely Star Wars. I don't hate Star Trek. I just don't watch a lot of it. And I am much, much more enthralled by and captivated by Star Wars than I am Star Trek. That said, I do plan on really diving into Star Trek in the next couple of years because I feel like I'm missing out. Okay. Jonathan Thorson ASMR asked, who are my top 5 ASMR artists? This is a list of people that I like to listen to either as background sound or to fall asleep, not who I think are some of the best. I think anyone who turns on a camera and tries to record ASMR is awesome and is deserving of an audience and success and all of that stuff. But who I tend to listen to the most off the top of my head, Rapunzel is always like number one. I love just about everything Rapunzel puts out. Jelly Bean Green is a big one. Atmosphere, the stuff Atmosphere does is like mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. And the sounds are killer. Who else? I do. Well, I can open up the YouTube app and look who's. I got a playlist. You can actually follow it if you want to, but it's what I'm currently falling asleep to, is what it's called. And if I look at this, oh yeah, I love Amy K. Behind the Moons. I love. I do love Fred's voice. Sometimes Fred's voice can be a little too much because his audio to me is really intense, but dude does great stuff. I love Calliope. I love Glow. Lady ASMR, Was Attack ASMR. I tend to like more slow, chill pace stuff than fast ASMR, but sometimes I like fast ASMR. I think it's Riley, Rhilla. What 3 animals are you most like and why? I have no idea. Probably a dog. I guess I do have an idea. Probably a dog because I'm a very loyal person. I'm a very friendly person. I like to try and fill people with joy. I am also maybe like a honey badger because I've got a side of me that is like vicious, and that's kind of more the metalcore screaming side of me that like I appear to be very, very angry and dangerous, but really I'm just a dog. I'm like a golden retriever down deep in my heart. And the last one is probably a sloth, because I can be lazy, I do procrastinate, and I move slowly. I have one speed, and it's mosey. All right, what is your favorite movie? This is from Jones Bones. What is my favorite movie? I want to say The Matrix every time. That movie blew my mind as a kid, and it kind of got me really into like sound design, and the cinematography is what was really cool about that movie, doing bullet time for the first time, all that stuff. But one of the first classes for post audio and movies that I had was redoing the lobby scene where that crazy like gunfight goes down before they go up the elevator. And that kind of really made me fall in love with the idea of doing post audio for film, sound design for games, all of that stuff. So for all those reasons, The Matrix always kind of sits at number one. Yeah, I'll move on. VR ASMR said, what makes a person beautiful to me? What makes somebody beautiful is somebody who has patience and understanding and is compassionate, who is willing to put others before them, who is not all about themselves. And I I know I struggle with that, with not being like, look at me. But I do my best to kind of be that kind of person too. It's where I am in love with my wife because she is one of the most like empathetic, kind, patient people that I know. Yeah, so for me, it's really somebody who puts others before them. You also asked, would you rather live for a week in the past or the future? I would rather live a week in the future, so I would know what to invest in to make money. VR ASMR asked, he's got a couple more questions here. Pick one. Being world-class attractive, a genius, or famous for doing something great. I would like to be famous for doing something great. Because that would mean that I had done something great. And I guess that's relative. But in that list of things, that to me is the most important thing. All right, let's see here. Eat only 3 foods for the rest of your life. What would they be? A Taco Bell bean burrito. Just a straight up bean burrito from Taco Bell. Chicken teriyaki with rice on the side. You know, you can get it at any teriyaki shop. They all taste like exactly the same, and they're all delicious. And a double. What am I trying to say here? A number 2, In-N-Out. Double burger, animal style. Double. That's what it's called. My goodness, double animal style. And then the last question is, do challenges improve a person's character? More often than not, yes, I do believe that is true. And there's a big fancy word in the world of Christianity called sanctification, and that is the process. It's kind of like a never-ending process of becoming a person who is better, who is more like Jesus, through the trials and challenges of life, right? It's kind of like being forged into a sword, I guess, a really cool sword. For an absolutely horrible metaphor. Jellybean Green, oh hey, what up? Asked, if it's not too personal to share, I'd love to hear about what creators, partners, and kids think about their channels. This is a fun one. Kelsey is supportive of my channel. Kelsey's my wife, and she also thinks it is the most absurd thing in the world. So this is like my fun, weird hobby that she kind of gets a kick out of, but like she doesn't really watch my videos. She doesn't, she'll like give me a funny idea every now and again. But it's definitely like I've got my own weird little world, and she's just like, all right, you weirdo. And this isn't even like, this is just only one of the weird things I do. And my kids, I absolutely love it. My kids are supportive, I guess, in whatever way they can be, but they're always coming up to me going, Dad, listen to the sound. You got to record it. You got to record it, Dad. And I keep putting it off. I keep saying, we're going to pick a night one night, and we're going to get all the things you want to record, and we're going to record them all. But they kind of get a kick out of the weird side of it. I mean, I love all the weird little props I get, all the weird little things I get for triggers. And so I think as my kids get older, they will become more and more embarrassed by this channel. And so hopefully, in 5 years, I'll have 10,000 subscribers. Sure. And we'll hopefully have enough notoriety or popularity to embarrass my kids in high school. That's what I want to do. That's the whole goal of this channel. Nathan ASMR, what's up, dude? Asked, which band would be able to create the best ASMR if I could only choose one, and why? probably, I'm going to go Sigur Rós on this one, and that might be cheating, but yeah, Sigur Rós, they did actually release an album that was called like Songs for Sleep or just Sleep or something. It wasn't really ASMR so much as just like chill music, but I think the lead singer, what's his name? Jonas? It's not Jonas. I'm totally spacing on his name and feel bad about it. Joni. I think it's Joni. Has a very, very, very quiet voice. And I think and the band is very much about texture. And I think if they went in to create an album specifically for ASMR, they would just knock it out of the park and it would be incredible. All right. Tingle Storm ASMR asked, how did you become such an expert in audio? What would you recommend in terms of research and which steps to make in order to have more knowledge in this field? So I already kind of answered the question about going to school for audio, and that's definitely a big part of it. I learned a lot of stuff. I learned how to do stuff the right way, and then thankfully had a lot of classes that were kind of the senior level classes that were like, you know all the rules, now let's figure out how to break them. And so I got to really look at like crazy ways to record audio, and we did some totally wacky stuff. And I think that also kind of helped me kind of, without realizing I was getting interested in ASMR. I was getting interested in ASMR because a lot of the stuff that we did could almost be branded as ASMR. After that, I mean, my passion for audio has never died, and I don't think it ever will. So, I mean, I'm constantly researching new ways to edit audio, new tools, new plugins, all that stuff. And I also surround myself with a lot of colleagues, and I follow a lot of experts in the area of audio. And so I've been able to kind of become an opinion, I guess, that matters in the world of ASMR, specifically kind of in the Twitter bubble, just because of all the studying I've done. And I think a lot of the recording bands and all that stuff helped a lot, recording loud stuff, and also learning how to really record quiet stuff. One of the things I did in school was recorded the sound of my professor blinking, which was difficult, but we had really nice mics, really nice preamps, put a blanket over him, put a microphone like right next to his eye, and he just sat there and blinked, and we just cranked the gain on the preamp until we could hear the little. It's really funny. How would you recommend in terms of research, which steps to make in order to have more knowledge in this field? YouTube is an invaluable resource. I think looking up things like different miking techniques, whether it's like a spaced pair, like I think that's how most of ASMR is recorded, is what you would just call a spaced pair in the stereo world, which is I have a microphone here, I have a microphone here, and I'm not really like getting out a ruler, and like figuring out like the math behind where they're positioned. I just set them up and go. But there's stuff like ORTF that you can look into, XY patterns that you can look into. Mid-side recording is kind of cool if you ever want to try that. Another way to kind of do ORTF, I forget what that stands for, but that's what a lot of like 3D microphones are kind of set up to be ORTF, which is kind of the idea behind that style of miking is that you are mimicking human ears. What else? Read manuals. If you're going to dive into a new like audio editing software, don't just like record in it and edit in it. Figure out like how to do cool stuff in it. Dive into like if you're getting into like DaVinci or something, look into like Fairlight, how Fairlight works, how you can do cool stuff with audio in that. Look into like what compression is, how does reverb work, what are these things? Like you really need to like study, treat it kind of like school. All right. Bluesy ASMR asked, what is the thing I crave most in life but still haven't got it? The thing I crave most in life but I still don't have it is I mean, really, I think it's the having enough money to live totally comfortably and stress-free. I don't know if I'll ever get that, but man, wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be so nice? Who's my biggest musical influence? Probably Norma Jean, the band Norma Jean. A lot of the heavy stuff I write, or a lot of music I write, is heavy music, and I think Norma Jean is one of the most influential bands for my kind of style of writing. But also quirky, weird video game soundtracks. Queen, Rolling Stones, or the Beatles. That's also from blues. Queen, Rolling Stone, or the Beatles. Oh man, Rolling Stones, I don't give a rip about. Queen or the Beatles, that's a tough one. That's a really tough one. I'm gonna give it to Queen. But that was really hard. Amy Chadwick asked, when it comes to discovering new themes to incorporate into my videos, what sources of inspiration do I draw on, particularly in regards to the characters I portray? I mean, a lot of the characters that I play, I mean, they come from my subconscious ultimately, which is just I'm being influenced by the things that I read and I watch. But that's a tough question. So what sources do I draw on? I think I draw on things like anything Tiki Watiti does. I love his sense of humor, like what we do in the shadows and all that. Absolutely love it. I like improv comedy. A lot of my videos are just improvised. I'm just making it up as I go. And I love Dungeons and Dragons. I love Critical Role. And so I think I like dark fantasy, and I also love sci-fi. And so I gather all that kind of stuff, and I generally like to, whatever it is, I like to put a twist of humor onto it. So that hopefully answers that question. Charlie Jester asked, how tall are you? I'm 5'11" and 3/4. I'm so close to 6 foot, but I'm not 6 foot. And now for the final series of questions from Cian. We have the question, how did I get into my line of work? So I work, I'm the senior event technician, though I think a more appropriate title is event producer, for a major tech company. Or I should say I work for a company contracted by that major tech company. I don't work directly for said major tech company. And I got into that line of work from school, ultimately. I got into live event production, audiovisual work right out of school. And I bounced around to a few different companies, got a lot of experience, and ultimately landed where I am now, which for AV, it's really hard to get like a regular just 9 to 5 job, but my hours are tied to the company I work at, and they don't do weekends, they're doing that. So it's like, I really like where I'm at in my career right now. Let's see, all-time favorite song and or band. He Is Legend is almost always at the top. Norma Jean's almost always at the top. Manchester Orchestra is an amazing band, and I think The River by them is just such a beautiful and wonderful song. Anna by Norma Jean is a really, really killer song. It's about one of their fans that passed away, and it's heavy, but it is just so good. I'll leave it at that. Final question. If I weren't doing what I do now, what would I be doing? If I didn't have the job I currently have, I would be doing sound design full time. I would love to be a sound designer at Bungie. The commute wouldn't be too different than what I've already got right now. And ultimately, I would love to work in the video game industry because I do love video games. Currently, I'm close to beating Psychonauts 2. That game is so good. Tangent. Anyways, that's it. That's all the questions that were asked. Thank you so much for submitting questions. And again, thank you so much for just like watching this video, watching anything I put on the internet. It kind of blows my mind. Anybody does. And I'm very grateful and thankful for it. So that's going to do it. And I will see you next time.